Are you ready to jump into the unknown and explore a world beyond your imagination? A world that tests your luck and is beyond limits. But the question is, are you ready to jump? If it is a yes, then you have jumped into the world of ultimate entertainment.
Welcome to YOLO 247, a place of fun, indulgence, and endless surprises.
Ladies and gentlemen, today the Supreme Court made some very scathing remarks against the Manipur government over the violence in the state. It questioned the Biren Singh government over the absolute breakdown of law. And while we welcome the court's intervention, what is the opposition going gaga about? Tonight it must be asked, what is at the core of the Manipur crisis? Let's debate.
Manipur is trying to pick up pieces after almost 3 months of unrest.
This is the house. You can see the impact of the mortar is clearly visible on the wall. This is just a small impact that we are showing you, but inside, if you step inside the house, you will see the impact further. Most of the walls in the house have been damaged. Here in this particular room, you can see the impact crater of the mortar that was fired upon. The wall have been completely damaged.
Noting that there is complete collapse of law and order situation in Manipur, Supreme Court has summoned the state DGP on August 7th with a detailed report.
Pulling up the law enforcement machinery for whatever's been happening in Manipur for the last couple of months, Supreme Court has come down heavily while asking the state government for specific details in a tabulated format, segregating cases involving murder, rape, arson, loot, destruction of homes, property, places of worship, and outraging modesty of women. Essentially, Supreme Court has asked for a breakup of all the cases.
So far, the parliament has failed to hold a proper discussion on the situation in the state owing to constant disruptions.
We are becoming subject of ridicule by the public at large. You don't want discussion. You never sought discussion on Manipur. Time was allocated.
With the Supreme Court now pulling up the state government for alleged inaction, will the politics over ethnic strife end? Let's debate.
So the three-judge bench comprising the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Justice Manoj Mishra heard the matter, and they made some scathing comments on the Biren Singh government. But while the court does that, Mr. De Mello, should the court also comment in more great detail on the Manipur High Court order, which on 27th March asked the state government to consider the inclusion of the Meitei community in the ST Act? That was the real trigger. So maybe the Supreme Court also right now should first set aside the Manipur High Court order, which was the trigger for the violence. I think that would also be more appropriate, don't you think? Because Manipur wants a solution. And if the Supreme Court wants, it can first start by doing that. Mr. De Mello, did you get that? My question to you was the root cause. You should talk about the root cause of the violence. The root cause of the violence was a Manipur High Court order directing the state government to recommend to the Union Tribal Affairs Ministry by May 29th an ST tag for the Meitei community. My question to you, Mr. De Mello, was should we not look at the root cause? The root trigger was the Manipur High Court order.
The root cause can be looked after normalcy is brought in, Mr. Arnab. Don't try to get to the causes of it right now, especially where it was a legal situation. Here, the legal situation, after that was pronounced, the whole thing went out of control. And for that, the responsibility lies on the government. And therefore, the Prime Minister, who has been made the Prime Minister by the House, by Parliament, by reposing and expressing confidence in the leadership of him and making him the Prime Minister, he has a duty, a sacred duty, to come to the Parliament and explain to the members who express confidence in him as the Prime Minister as to what solution he has.
I don't know. I mean, could the Supreme Court take suo moto cognizance of the situation in Manipur over under Article 32 of the Constitution instead of there being a review petition in the High Court. I mean, we need to know what the trigger is. We need to solve the trigger. Shehzad, responding to you. Viewers, I really believe Manipur wants a solution, and we cannot have a solution if there's politics and you don't understand the trigger. The real issue is to go to the trigger. Shehzad, responding to Mr. De Mello on a short debate tonight. Shehzad.
Yes. Mr. De Mello, if I'm not mistaken, you all wanted a discussion under Rule 267 before you all brought in the no confidence motion. I have the Rule 267. Please tell me in this 267 provision where the Prime Minister or the Government of India can open the debate or make a statement. Mr. De Mello, you wanted a discussion under 267. Am I right? Is that not the demand even now? Can you please tell me in Rule 267, because I've served in Parliament,
in the discussion,
through the Parliamentary Affairs Ministry. Can you please, no, 1 second. Let's talk about rules of Parliament. Sir, 1 second. Sir, Mr. De Mello, I did not interrupt you. Mr. De Mello, I have great regard for you. I did not interrupt you. Mr. Derek O'Brien, your leader, has been shouting over the rooftops that 267 mein charcha chahiye. Then you say that Prime Minister should make a statement. Can you please tell me in Rule 267, where is the provision for Prime Minister or Government of India to open the discussion? Please tell me exactly. We have somebody like Arnab anchoring this debate. He understands Parliament like the back of his hand. So please don't mislead Arnab, don't mislead his viewers, and don't mislead the country. Tell me where provision of 267 is there, where government or Prime Minister can open the discussion by laying a statement. Tell me specific, please, tonight.
Show me under the rule if there is any prohibition for the Prime Minister to come and speak. I have said.
Did you not say 267 yes or no?
1 minute.
Did you not say 267 yes or no?
You want
you
to
said 267, right?
Yes,
you asked for 267, didn't you?
Show me.
Are you going back on 267 now? Are you going back on? Is TMC going back on 267?
Please show
me. Is TMC going back on 267? First you say, is TMC going back on 267?
No.
When we were saying 176, why did you make it about 267? Why did you make it an ego issue? Is your ego bigger than the question of debating Manipur in Parliament? Is your ego bigger than the issue of Manipur? Is your rule bigger than the issue of Manipur? No, why did you ask for 267 and then you say Prime Minister should open it with a statement? Show me the provision.
You show me the
provision in 267 which allows us to open the debate in Parliament.
Show me the provision.
Now don't do this. You know, it's a very low level of debate. Show me this. You tell me you have asked for 267 or you're going back on it. Are you going back on what Derek O'Brien asked? Are you going back on it? Take an official stand. It's a Republic channel. It's a big channel. You can explain. You can explain that TMC is going back on 267. Tomorrow you come and start the discussion in Parliament. Say we don't want 267. We'll start the discussion tomorrow.
First suspend the
say it.
Then
where does it then say that Prime Minister can open it? Where does it say Government of India can make a first statement? Can you please tell me? Show me the point. Show me the point in Rule 267.
Priyanka is entering the debate. Shehzad, 1 minute. Priyanka to Shehzad.
Yes.
Arnab.
Yes.
Priyanka to Shehzad. Mr. De Mello, can I get her in, please? I have limited time. Yeah, Mr. De Mello, with your permission. Ms. Priyanka.
Is the Prime Minister the leader of the House? Is my first question to Shehzad. Do they win elections in the name of the Prime Minister? Is my second question.
You have brought a no confidence motion against the leader of the House.
I'm glad.
You have brought the NCM against him.
I'm glad.
You have brought the NCM against him, which means you don't consider him to be the
behave
leader
like
of
a
the
child.
House.
Listen to me. Stop behaving like a child.
Against him, which means
Stop behaving like a child.
you do not consider him to be the leader of the House.
Why haven't you created a peace panel till date? Why isn't there a peace panel till date?
If you consider him to be the leader of the House,
okay, Priyanka.
No confidence motion. Why did you
Priyanka, my question to you. Shehzad, 1 minute. 1 minute. Priyanka, I have a question for you now.
I am glad that today he's not going to Rajasthan and West Bengal.
Priyanka, may I follow up with a question to you? I like the way in which you're cheering on the Supreme Court. I was wondering whether you would similarly chair the Supreme Court when it pulled up the opposition for washout sessions in Parliament and wasting taxpayer money, saying we must think about taxpayers and the national economy. Will you also, as a follow-up, cheer the Supreme Court for having said that Rafale is not a scam? Cheer the Supreme Court for saying that Pegasus was not found on the phones? And cheer the Supreme Court saying that there was nothing controversial in the Judge Loya case? Will you similarly cheer the Supreme Court last part when you went via Abhishek Manu Singhvi to the Supreme Court on the misuse of agencies, and the Supreme Court says the answer is in the political space and not in the courts? Why did you not cheer the Supreme Court then?
I did. That is why I did not file a counter FIR on Shehzad. Now listen to me, because I know
Counter
it's a
FIR on
case.
Shehzad?
Now,
my question was about Supreme Court.
You know the judgments you have.
I asked you about the Supreme Court. You are talking about a counter FIR on Shehzad.
I can. Let me. I'm. Okay. That was a comment, just a snide comment.
But you're not answering my question.
I'm just saying that the judgments you mentioned require a very exhaustive debate, and I can tell you, I'll give you a fair criticism.
Do you believe in the
I don't
judgment?
agree with those judgments. I'm allowed that. But right now, I believe in the Supreme Court and nothing else, unlike the BJP, which goes against the ruling of the Supreme Court time and again. Now, I am saying that today, this debate doesn't need to digress. The pointed mudda is that Manipur is burning for the past 90 days, that there have been requests for establishing a peace panel and headed by a neutral person.
Do you stand with the triple talaq judgment of the Supreme Court?
I abide
with the triple talaq judgment of the Supreme Court.
I abide by anything that the Supreme Court says.
Why
yes.
was Amatullah Khan
Unlike you, who overturns the Supreme Court ruling.
Why was
unlike
Amatullah Khan
you, don't try to digress. Why aren't you answering on Manipur? Stop behaving like a child.
We're not digressing. It's about
Stop
Supreme
behaving
Court.
like a kid. Tell me why aren't you answering? Why
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an important debate. I wish I could continue the debate, but I will only wrap up by saying that I want to say to the BJP and the AAP and the TMC and to all political parties tonight. We've had a lot of politics, Priyanka, Shehzad, Mr. De Mello. I wish to say this. We must keep amity. We must bring back peace in Haryana, and we must work together on that. Ladies and gentlemen, with the hope for that, I shall see you tomorrow at 9. Good night and goodbye.